So anyway, hello, welcome. This is Pod Potatoes with Mark Selzer, and today's guest is
Jennifer Gable.
Jennifer Gable. So Jennifer Gable, you're a comedian,
That's correct.
and where have you performed, and what have you done, and why are you doing this?
I ask myself that often recently. Why am I doing this? It's fun. I do it because it's fun, and I think it's like just a form of expression for me. Because I'm an artist, just for my like emotions, and I honestly, like, I started out acting, so I got into it. I'm not gonna name the person, but basically, one of my friends who's also an actress, we did like this B horror film together. She started doing stand-up comedy a few years ago, and I went to go see her, and I was like, I can do better than that. Like,
You always think you can do better.
I was like, I can do that.
A lot of other
Wait a
comics.
minute. And then she tricked me, though. I was like, wait, are you getting paid to do this? And she's like, yeah, which in LA, comedy clubs don't really pay comics. And that's what I really initially thought, actually. And then I got into it, and I was like, oh, wait, yeah, no, that's not a thing. So.
Crime and comedy don't pay.
But that's why we're on our way to San Diego to get paid.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's so much, that's what they say, nobody gets paid in LA. Unless you have a TV show or something like that.
Right.
See, that kind of acting I would love to do. I'd love to do like indie horror films. I've done a few things like for...
Yeah. I've done a little acting here and there, and then just stand-up I've done all over. Clubs, Connecticut, New York City, LA clubs. I like Vegas because they pay you, and they're nice, and there's a lot of gigs in Vegas, so I like doing Vegas shows.
I need to do more gigs in Vegas.
For
definitely.
sure. It's a fun town, yeah.
Some people say move to Vegas.
Everyone's really friendly there, too. Well, everyone's friendly to LA for the most part. Like, LA comics, when you come visit,
Right.
outside of LA, they're, like, nicer to you. They treat you better.
I would, I've done some gigs there. I'd love to do more. You have to get into the right stream.
I did a club in Seattle, which was nice. Jokers. That was fun.
Jokers.
Yeah.
I think I'm talking to them. I'm not sure. I'm just applying.
I guess there's some clubs in Arizona. San Diego.
I got flown
San
out
Francisco.
to Alaska, of all places.
Oh, cool.
That was nice.
Oh, that's awesome. This guy just hit me up. I'm super excited for Canada, for some charity.
Canada.
I was like, hell yeah.
I was talking to some club in Canada for a while, and then it fell through. So that's too bad.
Yeah.
We'll eventually, get back up there. And they have a lot of comedy festivals up there, too. But, how much money am I going to spend going up to that? And if they pay me to go there, that would be good. And we'll see.
Sure.
Comedy festivals.
Sometimes you just break even. It's like, okay.
Right. It's fine. Break even.
As long as you can break even at least.
Right.
I think I turned down something. Someone's like, you should go. I forget where it was, like, just in the middle of the country. And I was like, I'm going to, like, eat, I'm going to eat it. Like, I'm going to spend more money. I'm like, no, it's not worth it.
Yeah, how much are they going to pay you and how much can you spend?
It wasn't worth, yeah.
Do you have any merch and can you sell some merch? And I need to get my, when I first started out, I had this CD of stuff and I used to sell it all the time. But then it got old and it wasn't representing the material that I was doing and I stopped selling the CD.
I
need to get a download card or something. And some shirts. That'd be good. I need a download card in a CD or whatever, anything I can sell to get some money out of it. Because you never know. If you're just doing something for gas money, if you can sell a few CDs, that's good.
This dude just texted me. I just blocked him again.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dudes.
Yeah.
Watch out for those dudes. They can be bad news.
Right. Well, that's why I'm bi. I figure I'll have more opportunity, more chances to meet someone. Like, I'm starting to like women again more, but it's so hard to hit on women. Like, I feel for you guys now, like what you go through with the rejection, and like, it's hard. It's like, how do I pick up a woman? Like,
it's very difficult.
Not easy.
No, it's a hard thing. It's a hard thing. Yeah, no, my mom was bisexual, so
really.
I end up dating a lot of bisexual women. and being married to bisexual women and stuff like that. So it's just something that like happened. I'm like, why is this? And I started to think back at my mom, and I thought, that girl that was up the street, that was my mom's girlfriend, I think. And other things my mom had said through the years told me that, oh, my mom was bisexual, so I was raised as a companion for a alcoholic, drug addicted, bisexual woman. So that's what I end up with.
Yeah, I end up with a lot of
times.
addicts too.
So that's usually because your parents.
I've dated all kinds of people though. I have no. I don't know what the answer is anymore. I've tried. I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea. I've kind of stopped dating for a while.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
I went through a flurry of dating, and now I'm starting again. We will see what happens, but it's difficult. If I'm dating someone, I'm thinking I want to get married one more time. So I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm dating someone. If they're not going to be a good wife, a candidate, then why date them? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just as soon as I find out this isn't going to work, then I threw all my alcoholic girlfriends out of my life, and that was it. Since then, I've been more cautious. So we'll see. Dating's a very difficult thing.
Indeed, especially in LA, it's not easy.
So we were, LA, man. It's like warfare. It's like you have to have a strategy or something. And I don't want to do that, I want to have...
games.
Yeah, I don't want to have game. I just want to actually relate to somebody as a human being.
There's a lot of comics, like, getting together, which I think is cute. Actually, it seems like it lately. Like, getting married and...
Really?
Yeah, it seems like it.
I have
more
not.
than you think.
I have not noticed. every time I've dated a female comic, it has been absolute disaster. So I'm so weary. I'm so weary of it. It's like, man.
Yeah.
What a mess. But we were talking about writing for television.
Yes. I just wrote a TV show.
You did?
I have a couple ideas. Yeah, I made a short film, like a drama film at one point based on a true story that won awards at the Holly Shorts Festival. But, I'm writing. I love writing. Stories, movies, and putting packets together. So we'll see for late night. Something will happen.
Yeah, well, you might as well keep floating ideas out there.
Yeah.
That's money. I've done a little acting too, but that's another thing they tell you. If you're a comic, you should go and do acting, because once you have credits, then it opens doors for you.
Yeah, it helps.
It's like, I don't really want to be an actor, but I'll do it. It's fun, and if it pays, and if it's an adventure, I'll go and do it. And but mostly I just want to be a stand-up comic. Mm-hmm. I don't really care about being an actor.
Being stand-up comic leads to acting. So.
Yeah, I got asked to do a couple of things. I was in a couple of web projects that they were looking to get picked up, and it didn't happen. I was in this one thing about two drug-addicted girls who were in Hollywood making fools of themselves. And I played a director who was directing them in a commercial. And then I was in another thing called Open Micers, about drama about someone doing open mics and trying to make it in LA. And I was one of the crazy open micers. And we'll see what happens. I'm open to it. You were in an independent horror film?
Yeah.
Do you want to say what it was?
I can't remember the title.
You can't remember the title?
No.
Did they pay you?
This was years ago, yeah.
That's good.
But it's all on my IMDb. I've done so many random things.
I would love to do some kind of I'd love to do indie horror films. That'd be fun. We'll have to go look into that.
It was almost like a porno. I thought it was funny because I didn't get naked in, but there was a lot of nudity in this horror film that I ended up seeing, and I was like, it was almost like pornographic. It was pretty funny.
Porno horror?
Yeah.
Well, exploitation films, you get gore and nudity, and that's what they do, yeah. These horror films now, unfortunately, aren't about atmosphere and spooky things anymore. A lot of times they just are about gore, and it's just like torture porn. I'm like, oh, that's just boring, you know? I don't need to watch torture porn, you know? Like
For sure.
you know, I grew up watching horror movies, but I love things that are atmospheric.
That's why women can't achieve orgasm, because you watch all the porn. Like, I can't. I get concerned for the woman, you know. I'm like, is this safe? Is she okay? Like, I can't get off like this. I'm like, oh my god, she's dead. Like, can't come like this. Like, choking her, you know, her head's in the toilet, upside down. Like, shit.
You mean pornography? You're
Right.
about
Most
pornography.
porn is like that. You watch it, it's like, oh shit, is this, you know?
Yeah, well, you know, those women they know what they signed up for, you know?
Apparently.
And the thing that's...
I wonder sometimes, I'm like, are they fucking, like, you know, kidnapped? Is it like sex trafficking?
No,
Who knows?
They just put ads in the paper and the women sign up. And that's, you know, I've been surprised in my dating life, you know, some of the things that women want or like me to do or whatever, or ask me to be rough with them or whatever.
A little bit is okay.
You'd be surprised how far a lot of people will go or into, you know, you never know.
You never know.
People are into weird shit that you really think they are.
A comedic story in my sex. It's like, it really happened. Like, I ended up at a sex party in the valley, like, legit. And there was some humor to it, so I'll probably tell that tonight. I'll go into it a little bit, but,
Sounds like a good episode of a movie or something like that.
I didn't even know. I thought it was like a rave, like, oh, everyone's like having sex. BDSM with like costumes on, yeah, it's wild. So, okay.
Yeah, there's a club by my house. In fact, in that place where I have my show, there's a club called Bar Sinister, and they like have shows there where people are tying each other up and whipping each other and stuff like that, and lingerie kind of dancers and burlesque.
If you ever, you should try to get booked on this. It's at the Trip Bar in Santa Monica. They do it in a couple locations, and it's burlesque and stand-up comedy. And of course, there's like a big audience for the burlesque,
Right.
which is great. So yeah.
Yeah, I've talked to some of those people. I should continue to look. You know, I just got tired of going everywhere all the time. That's why I started that show,
Right.
my own show.
Sure, you gotta, do your own stuff.
I just want to do my, you know, I feel real comfortable doing my own.
Me too.
thing.
I'm a fan of doing my own thing for sure.
You know, because that way I can control it. And I try to, on my shows, I try to, I center towards the more unusual in comedy and unusual people and people
So do I.
doing
yeah.
unusual things and alternative comedy, whatever that is. You know, I like to aim towards that. I still have, you know, the regular MTV kind of comedy on and Comedy Central kind of comics, but, you know, lean towards...
Some of Comedy Central can be a little original too.
They can. They can. They can have some good stuff, you know. I like to bring in the musical comics and stuff like that. And just anything that's doing anything weird, or just weird performance artists just doing strange stuff. And, you know, it can be a hit or a miss. There's this one guy I bring on, and he's just a performance artist, and he does it off the top of his head. And sometimes he'll murder, sometimes he just says okay. And other times people just stare at him like he's from outer space. But, you know, it's all got to be off the top of his head, spontaneous kind of thing that he wants to do.
Just improv. I like improv. I like improv when you're shooting, like for my web series TV pilot, we like there was a script, but I had everyone improv as well, and they did a good job because we're all comics, and you know, people are used to improving. But I think that's best when you're shooting something to allow for improv too, not just like be so militant, you know, to stick to the script word for word. It's like why?
So we just got off the freeway, or are we getting back on
I'm
the
just
freeway?
following Waze. I don't.
Really?
Waze is taking me all over the place. Yeah, but I guess it's like a shortcut. I usually trust Waze for the most part.
Well, let's go with Waze then. Let's give it a
Wherever
shot.
there's no cars.
Seeing an interesting neighborhood here. Some of the neighborhoods in LA have these beautiful houses. They're just driving through and you're like, wow, where is this? Hidden neighborhood.
LA's huge, yeah.
Yeah, lots of different character, lots of different neighborhoods. This neighborhood here looks like it probably has seen some better days. It's either on the way out, on the way down, or maybe coming back up. I don't know. Remember where I used to live in?
And these houses here, there's probably like what $500,000 it's worth, and it's like a shithole.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I think they're having you to go around this traffic jam on the freeway, which is good. And we get back get onto the 5, probably seeing you to the 5 or past downtown LA.
Yeah.
So
why is your podcast called Potatoes? Or
well, a couch potato is somebody that watches television all day. So a pod potato is somebody that watches.
Who was calling me? That was weird. I'm not answering.
A pod potato is someone that listens to podcasts all day. And
do they do that, or does everyone just?
Well, it's a whole new thing. It's like the art of conversation was gone, and people are trying to bring back, long form kind of shows. And look at, Joe Rogan and Adam and people like that. They're getting huge audiences.
Sure, yeah.
And it's just conversation.
Well, I love how he touches on like conspiracy theory stuff, and Sam Chipoli's also doing that. I think those are fun to talk about.
Well, I love conspiracy theories. It's
hard to talk about on stage. Sometimes it scares people. I've noticed if I go into that on for stand up, people are like, oh, like.
I used to do a lot of musical comedy. I used to have a song called "We Never Went to the Moon," which was really fun.
Cool.
Had a lot of fun with that. And if people think you believe in conspiracy theories, it can often be funny. But, I
believe in some. I'm, like, open-minded to stuff. But
I'm entirely open-minded. I think most conspiracy theory videos are much more entertaining than reruns of Friends.
There you go. Yeah.
And I'm open to it, and, at least some of it I think is partially true,
Sure.
Depending on what it is. Like when Snowden came out, that was all these were all conspiracy theories being floated by Alex Jones on InfoWars, and then we found out it was all completely true, and Alex Jones was completely right about everything,
Wow.
And it was entirely true. So, when Snowden came out,
my friend's daughter works on that show with him, but yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What show with who?
InfoWars.
Oh, InfoWars?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're an employer, they have reporters and everything. And there's a place for them. There's a place for them out there, and for information that doesn't normally get out. I'll look at it. I can see it, and I'll take it all, everything with a grain of salt. Whether it's CNN, ABC, or InfoWars. I'll take it all with a grain of salt.
For sure.
Use my own judgment and decide what is what. I think if you're watching CNN or ABC or CBS, that's the propaganda wing of the Democratic Party, and if you're watching Fox, that's the propaganda arm of the Republican Party, So know what you're looking at, I think, and take it with a grain of salt and try to see what it is clearly. And maybe somewhere there's some truth somewhere if you look at all the different news sources in between the propaganda.
Yep.
You may glean something from out of something. We'll see what happens. So, do you want to do any more independent horror films?
Sure. I mean, I'll do whatever as long as it, if it's good and it pays.
Right.
Like, when things pay. And I mean, yeah. I played a cop recently on this TV show. What was it called? The Coroner.
The Coroner?
Yeah. So that was fun.
What was it like?
It was fun on independent.
Dressed up as a cop?
Yeah.
Did you get to walk around as a cop and see how people are treating you differently?
I had to show up to someone, shots were fired and run into the house and.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I would like to do things like that. It would be fun. but it's not my passion. I'm not every day trying to,
I like writing more now than acting, but I like both. But yeah, I love writing.
What do you do to become a writer in television? Do you look for a literary agent, or what do you do?
I have a manager. I mean, I might get a different agent, but I've heard different stories, where you can have an agent, and then I've heard people say their agents messed up deals for them. So
yeah,
it's kind of like you could do it without one. I mean, it's kind of better to have a good one, I think. If you have one, they should be professional and great, right. But yeah, I write all kinds of stuff daily. It just comes to me. I don't know. I have a lot to draw from my crazy life, but
yeah, I was thinking about doing that, and I've had, different ideas about doing different things, but I haven't really put together any kind of perspective.
I think with writing, like they say, just do it. Like that's part. A lot of people, have writer's block, or they just procrastinate. I think that's like a very creative, artistic thing to do, is procrastinate. I've been guilty of it recently too, where I put stuff off. But if I just sit down and make myself, then then I start writing.
Right.
Or I'm like, you just have to be disciplined, I think.
Yeah, this is a very true thing. I try to every day sit down and write some jokes, and put them on my Twitter.
Right.
And try to, then also sitting down and writing, screenplays or stuff like that. But, it would be fun, I guess, maybe to take a class on, writing a TV show. It seems like there's probably online, there's probably a format where
I use Final Draft, and it's pretty easy to write with Final Draft.
Is there Final Draft? Is there a format on there for a TV show?
Yeah, it sets it up for you for just a script, like a basic. Right. It's actually really easy.
Well, I think in writing, what I'd like to do is to take a script and do touch up on the script. See if take something that already exists, and then try to make it funny.
Right or wrong way to do it. I mean, there's certain there's certain formats, but there's no every script is different. You know what I'm saying? Like if you watch a movie, like they say you should never leave the ending where it's unresolved or there's questions. But I've seen so many movies where it ends and you're just like, what the fuck just happened? Like you don't have the answers.
Like the end of the Avengers recently.
Yeah, I didn't see that one, but
you hadn't seen that one. Well,
no.
Spoiler alert: the bad guy wins. And
that's different.
They'll continue it in the next one, in the next Avengers. But that's typical comic book, cliffhanger at the end of the comic book, and then you have to buy the next issue to find out.
Well, we're dead stops. This is great.
We are dead stop. I guess Waze,
we're not moving.
Waze isn't doing the right thing for us. It's like when I saw Black Panther recently. It was good, but it's just like all the comic books, Black Panther comic books I've ever read in my life, so I knew exactly what the next plot twist was going to be. I knew exactly what was going to happen because they were just going over like the same plot that Black Panther comic books have always had, that I've always read, since I was 7 years old. So I know all that stuff by heart, I was a little surprised that at the end of the Avengers, though, they actually did that, a typical comic book ending. At the end of it, I was very surprised. So you've heard you shouldn't get an agent? How would you even sell a script?
You should if you haven't. No, I just said you should get a good agent if you're going to get one.
Yeah, but how do you know if it's good or not?
They're in the top 6, and I don't know. You get referrals, whatever.
Right. Yeah, it seems difficult. Another thing, to do, another thing to apply for, another thing to look for. It just seems like just so much work. Like I talk to people that are doing acting, and all of these things are doing to try to get cast, and all day long, and I'm just concentrating on stand-up, and that's hard enough. All the things I'm doing in my life. Yep.
I like your Trump impersonation.
Yeah.
That's good.
Good. I'm glad you like that. I get good response to my Trump jokes. I write new Trump jokes all the time. They're funny.
You do his voice well, yeah.
Thanks. Thanks. That's good. I hardly even knew I was doing his voice even minutely correctly. I have trouble watching myself and listening to
I
myself
think everyone
doing
does.
stand-up.
Yeah, I do too.
You know,
Or
it's
acting.
very difficult.
It is. It is.
I have to wait a while. I have to, like, if I record it, I have to wait like a month or two before I can watch it.
Sometimes.
You know?
Yeah.
Or listen to it. Some people listen to it
I
after they do it. And that's a good idea.
Yeah, there was like this show I was on where like comics were judging comics, and I was like, I'm not watching this for a while because I just know they're gonna like, you know what I mean? That was the concept of the show. I'm like, come on, like I already get feedback. Like I had some woman like send me feedback, and I was like, oh, are you a comedian? Like thanks for your opinion. Like don't like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, I just let the audience decide whether or not they're laughing.
Exactly.
If you listen to that's one of the problems I think with the scene in LA and the open mic scene and the comedy scene is that comics are kind of become comedians for other comics, you know, before they're becoming the comedian for the audience.
I
think what I mean?
It seems like it's going in this weird direction of like just telling your personal, like getting really personal on stage.
Yeah.
And it's almost not funny. It's just like, hey, this is my inner life and my diary. It's like, where's the joke? Like, why are you just it's very like narcissistic, like just to talk about yourself all I don't know. But that's kind of, it seems like that's where comedy is going.
There's a lot of that, and you hear that in LA. You hear somebody talk about being bisexual, or talking about being dating, or talking about their dating problems, but it's like, where's the joke? You know? Are you telling a joke about this?
Right, as long as there's a joke there and it's not just, I don't know, it's
just supposed to be funny because it's your life. Where's the joke? You know what I mean? So it's like, there's a lot of undeveloped comedy out there.
Right.
You know, and there's a lot of people that are just up there because they're fashionable, I guess.
They're fashionable just because they're famous. Hey.
They have a TV show.
Exactly.
You know, there's a lot of that.
There's a lot of that going on.
And I'm like, why is this person on the stage?
Right.
You know? It's like that thing you were saying, you were doing comedy because you thought other people, you know, you could do better than those people on the stage. And, you know, once you get up there, you find out it's much more difficult than that.
Well, it's talent,
but still,
it's networking, it's like, well, who you blow? No, not as much. I don't know. The whole Me Too thing is interesting. We'll see if it changes some things. Because I've been outspoken, like, about some stuff where, like, bookers have asked me on dates. And I'm like, hey, that's not right. Like, wait, the guys didn't have to go eat dinner before they got a booking. How is that fair? So...
I don't know. I've had some people that I'm not interested in comedy hit on me, and
oh really?
Yeah, that are like kind of putting their men and women who are kind of, you know, it would be if I would have,
men hit on you?
Men and women hitting on me, women I'm not interested in.
Wow.
And you know, if I would have went for it, you know, maybe there would be an opportunity there for me. But you know, it's just you know, part of life. I don't know if. I think a lot of this, I think maybe there's some good things and then there's some bad things too, just like everything else. It's like, are women going to be taught to think that every time a man is being sexual or affectionate or in some way admiring her, that he's somehow doing something bad to her, you know, and being on guard constantly? And are men going to not, you know, is it going to lead to a lot more unmarried people in the future? Because most people meet at work.
People aren't getting married as much, seems like.
Yeah, it'll lead to a lot more single, unhappy people as they get older.
I'm happier, you know? When I'm single. I don't think it's a bad thing. Yeah, I'm a fan of it.
You're a fan?
Yeah.
That can be the case, and sometimes it can be good just to concentrate on your life.
Right.
You know, and then as you do that, you know, hopefully the right person will come along.
Sure.
That's in your airstream of, you know, where you're going. That can be true, but, you know, it all depends. You know, I'm just thinking, I want to get married one more time. I'd like to give it a shot one more time before I die. But, you know, I would be with both my wives that I was with. I lost my first wife to cancer and my second wife to illness, and you know, I would be with both of them, I guess, to this day, if I had the choice. But you know, dating's just difficult. It's like it's like war, sometimes. And if I
yeah.
don't, it's like if I don't concentrate on it and put a lot of attention to dating and trying to form a relationship and meeting people, then it's just not happening. So it's dumb too. And then usually if girls are hitting on me, I'm so stupid and I don't figure it out till later on in my life. Or a lot of people are hitting on me that I'm just not interested in. It's just not going to happen. But that's the way it is with everyone. But I think the entertainment industry also mixes business with pleasure.
Oh, for sure.
A lot.
Yeah.
That's part of the culture inside of it. So is that really going to change?
Probably not so much.
I doubt it.
I mean, it's fine to a degree. I think it's just like a line. It's like certain things. It's like, don't rape. Don't, you know what I mean? Don't ask someone I don't know. It's like you can date and flirt and whatever. Like, I think that's fine, but don't put your hands on people or ask them out on dates for bookings. That's it. That's all I care. You know what I mean? And then other than that, fine. Like,
yeah, people are going to, always ask out and date the people that are around them and their, atmosphere that they meet. People like Harvey Weinstein and other people that you hear about the sexual harassment, you think, why aren't they just, purchasing professionals if this is what...
Right, you would think, right? Yeah, if they have the money and the power, exactly.
I think also...
Why take the risk? Like,
right. Why aren't they just, especially if he's married, if he has to have this variety in his life, why doesn't he just, hire professionals? It's just some kind of mental illness or believing your own hype, or since girls are acting flirty with you because you're in a position of power and you start to think that, oh, you're really that guy, and that they want you or whatever, I think there's a lot of confusion, a lot of ego, and
oh yeah,
a lot of strange thoughts going on out there with people. So I don't know if it's probably do a lot of bad and a lot of good at the same time, just like everything else, everything else and everyone else. There's no perfect person or situation, but I think there's a lot of negativity there. A lot of people are being
well, it's all kind of coming out, and it'll be interesting. I don't know. It's like every week there's like,
yeah. Eventually, people are getting sick of it.
Yeah.
People are just tired of hearing about it. Do we have to hear about, everyone's? It started with Bill Clinton. We had to hear every detail of his, personal life. It's like, yeah, I don't need to know everything about everybody. What their personal kink is and everything else. I think other people, I don't know whether there's going to be a fatigue for it after a while. I think that's already set in. I think that's already set in. But I think people need to be given the right to, fumble around and do things incorrectly. We probably just should have stayed on the freeway here.
Yeah, women are taking over, so there's nothing men can do about it.
we're only letting you take over because it turns us on. That's why.
Oh, no.
We're only letting you for a while. No, there'll be, problems at both ends, at all ends, with any kind of power dynamic, one way or the other.
It should all be equal. I guess it's becoming that way, so that's good. More and more.
I don't know if anything can ever be equal because
not entirely, but more so. I mean,
you have different kinds of people who all have different motivations.
I think people are more aware of it now. The whole diversity thing. They're like, okay, yeah, let's make this show more diverse. Let's, for everyone, yada yada.
Well, I try to do that on my show, but it's not really for diversity. It's just for different kinds of comedy, because I want to have different,
I mean,
all
women
the comics
always
be different from each other.
Anytime I step on stage, women are always happy to see me, so that's, they get excited, like, oh, a woman, so.
That's good.
Yeah.
They want to hear a different point of view. And I try to put, as many different a variety of people as I possibly can. If I've had 3 male comics, I'll try to put up a female comic, and I just try to get as many different styles of comedy as I can up there. And it turns out that, a lot of those, that ends up to a lot of diversity in the lineup for the different kinds of people, straight people and gay people and Asian people and
That's why in my
Black,
pilot
Hispanic
I have
people.
Aiden Park is Asian. He's gay in real life, and then I have John Campanelli, white male, and then Tehran, black dude, and then Andrea Pazmino, what she's like Latina. So it's like a mix of all of us.
Yeah, when I watch, what's that show? The Lopez show? What is his first name?
George Lopez.
George Lopez show. When I was watching that, I was like, this is kind of refreshing because really there's so few Hispanic people on television.
Oh, right.
And,
Yeah.
When I grew
Chris
up,
Bella had that show, and then it got canceled.
Really?
She's really funny, yeah.
the George Lopez show, those were my neighbors growing up, and everyone in Southern California.
Mm-hmm.
Half your neighbors and your friends and the people you go to school with, many of them are Latino. And really, when I saw that show, I was like, there really isn't a lot of Latino people
Right.
on television.
That's true,
And
yeah.
I'm kind of surprised by that,
right.
I hate the idea of, we have to have, this many people and that many people. How about just, talented people? That's
Sure,
good.
exactly. Yeah.
There's someone
That too.
included, but there are so many talented Hispanic actors and black actors and white actors. You're always going to find, hopefully, somebody good, but
I know we're totally stuck in traffic.
that's how I felt. I know we're totally stuck in traffic. We're going to make
awful.
it. Are we going to just stay
We just
on
have
the
to get out of
freeway?
here.
Where's the freeway? Where's Waze telling you to
coming
go
up.
somewhere? The freeway's
I mean,
coming up.
I guess we're just kind of. I feel like Waze is taking us. We need to
Taking
get
us
back
the
on
wrong
freeway.
ways. It's definitely taking us the wrong way. Definitely, we probably just should have stayed on the freeway. Now we have to try to get back on. If it tells you to get off again, maybe we will not do
We're
it.
close to the 5, I think.
We should be. There's just one traffic jam to another. We'll see what happens if we even get there on time.
We should. I hope.
If not, we'll just go to Denny's or something.
We'll get there.
Drive to San Diego to go to a Denny's.
No, we'll get there.
We
just
took
stuck
off
right
early
now.
enough. Well, hopefully we'll have better luck as we go along.
Oh, good, it's moving.
It's moving. It's starting to move again. All right. Well, that's the. I think that'll be the end of
Okay.
Pod Potatoes
Okay.
for today.
Thank you for having me. It was fun.
Well, I hope it was fun. I hope it's fun for the listeners out there. We will see what happens. We've been talking for 37 minutes and 30 seconds.